Before you scroll, let me save you from one of the biggest gut myths on the internet. You are probably not walking around with 12 kilos of old waste glued inside your body. But if your stomach feels swollen, your energy feels flat, and going to the bathroom feels like a fight, something is off. And the fix is not some harsh detox that sends you running to the toilet. It's much simpler, much safer. And by the end of this video, you'll know the one natural method that helps your colon move the way it was supposed to in the first place. Here's the twist. The real problem usually is not toxic sludge. It's what I call the dry transit trap. Think of your colon like a moving walkway at the airport. Food waste gets carried along, and your body pulls water out as it moves. But when that walkway slows down, the longer the stool sits there, the more water gets pulled out. Softer waste turns dry. Dry turns hard. Hard turns stuck. So you feel heavy, backed up, bloated, and irritated. That's why random detox drinks fail. They don't fix the traffic jam, they just poke at it. Basic self-care for constipation focuses on fiber, fluids, movement, and routine, because those are the things that actually change stool, movement, and softness. Adults are also generally advised to get about 22 to 34 grams of fiber a day. And this is where most people get it wrong. They chase the dramatic solution because the quiet one looks boring. A tea, a flush, a cleanse kit, a coffee, enema. Something that feels extreme, so it must be working. But here's the problem. Mayo Clinic says colon cleansing is not needed to remove toxins. There's no good evidence. It boosts health, and it can cause cramping, diarrhea, dehydration, electrolyte problems, infection, bleeding, and even tears in the rectum. In other words, the thing marketed as a rescue can become the thing that makes your gut angrier. It doesn't stop there. A sluggish bowel doesn't just mean you feel a little off. First comes the bloating, then the pressure, then the straining. Then you start skipping the urge because you're busy, embarrassed, or tired. And it gets worse. The stool dries out even more. You may feel like you have to go, but nothing happens. Here's the scary part. Long-term constipation can lead to fecal impaction, where hard stool builds up in the rectum and has to be treated medically. If you have blood in the stool, new severe pain, unexplained weight loss, vomiting, or constipation that keeps coming back, that is not a cleanse problem. That is a talk to a clinician problem. So what actually helps? Let's rank the top natural methods from least to most effective. And I'm going to delay the number one method on purpose. Because if you understand why the earlier ones fail, the final one will make perfect sense. Number 5 is the bathroom timing reset. Not sexy, very powerful. Your colon naturally wakes up after you eat, especially after breakfast. NIDDK notes that bowel training can help by going at the same time each day, often about 15 to 45 minutes after breakfast. NHS also recommends not ignoring the urge, giving yourself time, and using a small stool to raise your knees above your hips. That changes the angle and makes it easier to pass stool. Think of it like unkinking a garden hose. The mechanism here is simple. You are using your body's natural reflex instead of fighting it. The limitation is obvious. If your stool is already dry and hard, timing alone won't solve the whole problem. Use it every morning. Sit for 5 to 10 minutes. No phone doom scroll, no rushing. Just consistency. Warning: if you're straining hard every day, don't pretend posture alone will fix everything. This gets a 5.5 out of 10. Number 4 is the water and walk combo. Most people here drink more water and roll their eyes. But water matters because dry stool is the problem. Movement matters because sitting for hours slows everything down. NIDDK and NHS both recommend regular physical activity as part of treating and preventing constipation. And an older PubMed Index study found that when adults with functional constipation ate about 25 grams of fiber a day, adding water improved stool frequency and reduced laxative use more than low water intake. That means fiber without enough fluid is like pouring cement without enough mix. It thickens, it clumps, it can backfire. The limitation is that water alone won't magically fix constipation. if fiber is low and routine is chaotic. The exact use is simple. Start the day with a large glass of water, then take a brisk 10 to 20-minute walk, ideally after breakfast. Warning: if you have heart, kidney, or fluid restrictions, follow your clinician's advice instead of forcing water. Score: 6.5 out of 10. Number 3 is prunes. This is where things change, because prunes are not just grandma advice. They work through multiple lanes at once. They bring fiber, they bring sorbitol, a natural sugar alcohol that draws water into the bowel, and they bring polyphenols that may support gut function. A systematic review found that in people with constipation, eating 100 grams of prunes a day for 3 weeks improved stool frequency and stool consistency, and in one study, they even outperformed psyllium on those measures. That's not hype, that's data. But here's the problem. Most people either eat too few prunes to matter or way too many. Then wonder why their stomach sounds like a thunderstorm. The sweet spot for many people is about 4 to 6 prunes a day to start, or a small serving of prune juice if whole prunes bother you. If tolerated, you can build higher. The limitation is bloating, gas, and extra sugar, especially if you jump in too fast. Warning: if you have diabetes or you're sensitive to high FODMAP foods, go slower and pay attention. Prunes get a solid 8 out of 10. Now we get to number 2, and pay close attention, because this one is the cleanest clue to what number 1 will be. Number 2 is kiwi fruit. Yes, kiwi. Not a powder, not a tea. Not a mystery cleanse packet, a fruit, but it punches above its weight. Kiwi gives you fiber, water, and a natural enzyme called actinidin that may help digestion. In a comparative effectiveness trial in adults with chronic constipation, green kiwi fruit, prunes, and psyllium all improved constipation symptoms. But kiwi had the lowest rate of side effects and the lowest dissatisfaction. Another trial found that 2 gold kiwi fruit a day were as effective as fiber-matched psyllium for constipation, with less straining. That matters because the best remedy is not just the one that works on paper, it's the one you can actually stick with. Most people get this wrong by treating kiwi like a garnish. One slice on top of yogurt is not a protocol. The exact use in the studies was 2 kiwi fruit a day. That's the dose that moved the needle. The limitation is that kiwi is excellent, but for some people, fruit alone still isn't enough to change that dry transit trap if fiber intake is low across the rest of the day. Warning: avoid it if you have a kiwi allergy, and be cautious if you have oral allergy symptoms with latex or related fruits. Score: 8.7 out of 10. So if timing helps, water helps, prunes help, and kiwi helps, what beats them all? The answer is not some dramatic flush. It's not a weekend detox. It's not a secret powder from a late-night ad. It's a method that combines the strongest parts of everything you just heard. And if you do it correctly, you stop trying to force your colon to panic. You teach it to move. Here it is. The number 1 natural colon cleanse, with no harsh stimulant laxatives, is what I call the morning gel reset. This is why it dominates the others. It does not rely on one trick. It uses 3 mechanisms at the same time. First, it adds a gel-forming soluble fiber that helps hold water in the stool. Second, it uses hydration so that fiber can actually do its job. Third, it takes advantage of your natural after-breakfast bowel reflex, when your colon is already most likely to move. That combination matters, because constipation is usually not one problem. It's dry stool, slow movement, and bad timing stacked on top of each other. The star of this reset is psyllium husk, used the right way. A systematic review of 16 randomized trials found that fiber supplementation improves chronic constipation, and psyllium worked best when the dose was above 10 grams a day for at least 4 weeks. That's a big reason professional guidance often treats psyllium as the best supported fiber supplement for chronic idiopathic constipation. In plain English, psyllium acts like a soft sponge gel. It absorbs water, increases stool bulk, and helps stool move through without the harsh emergency exit effect people get from stimulant laxatives. But here's the problem. Psyllium is famous for being used badly. People take a tiny sprinkle and expect magic, or they take a huge amount with barely any water and feel even more bloated. That's like pouring dry cement into a pipe and hoping it washes itself out. So here's the exact method. In the morning, drink a full glass of water first. Then mix about 1 teaspoon of psyllium husk in another large glass of water and drink it immediately before it thickens too much. After that, eat breakfast. If you want to make this even stronger without turning it into a supplement circus, add 2 kiwi fruit with breakfast or later in the morning. Then, 15 to 45 minutes after breakfast, sit on the toilet for 5 to 10 minutes with your feet on a low stool. Don't strain. Don't scroll. Let the reflex happen. That is the morning gel reset. This is where things change. Kiwi helps, prunes help, water helps, timing helps, psyllium helps, but the reset wins because it combines structure with mechanism. The water softens the lane. The psyllium holds the moisture where it matters. Breakfast triggers the gut reflex. The toilet timing gives your body the window to finish the job. It is less like cleaning out your colon and more like reopening a stuck conveyor belt. And if you want the stronger version, here's the simple recipe many people can tolerate. Days 1 through 3, do 1 teaspoon of psyllium once each morning with plenty of water, then 2 kiwi fruit later that day, if tolerated. Days 4 through 7, if bloating is manageable, increase to roughly 2 teaspoons total for the day. Split morning and evening, always with a full glass of water each time. By week 2 and beyond, many people land in the range that research supports, around 10 to 12 grams per day, but build gradually instead of jumping there overnight. That slow ramp is what saves you from the gas and cramping that make people quit too early. The evidence on psyllium looked strongest at doses above 10 grams daily and with at least 4 weeks of consistency, not random use, every third day. Now, let's talk timeline, because this is where impatient people sabotage themselves. In the first 3 days, many people notice less pressure, a slightly softer stool, and less of that trapped, swollen feeling. Not dramatic, but real. By the end of the first week, the routine starts to feel predictable. You may strain less, you may go more completely. The bathroom stops feeling like a negotiation. By 30 days, the goal is not, I survived another cleanse. The goal is normal, easier mornings. Flatter stomach from less backup and bloating. Less fear of travel, work days, or missed urges. A bowel rhythm you can trust. And that matters more than any before and after photo. Now, a warning, because natural does not mean careless. Do not do this if you have severe abdominal pain, vomiting, rectal bleeding, black stool, fever, unexplained weight loss, or a sudden major change in bowel habits. Those are not detox symptoms. Those are red flags. NHS specifically advises seeking medical help if constipation keeps returning, if you have blood in the stool, weight loss, persistent bloating, fatigue, tummy pain, or a sudden change in bowel habits. Do not slam a big dose of fiber without water. That can make you feel worse. Do not ignore the urge to go because you're too busy. That trains the problem deeper. Do not keep chasing harsher and harsher cleanses when your gut is telling you it wants consistency, not chaos. And be careful with psyllium if you have trouble swallowing, known bowel narrowing, prior obstruction, or if your clinician has told you to limit fiber for a specific reason. There are also 3 mistakes that quietly ruin this plan. The first is going too hard, too fast. People take a giant serving on day 1, get bloated, and decide the method failed. No, the dose was the problem. The second is doing the fiber, but skipping the routine. If you never sit after breakfast, you miss the easiest natural window your body gives you. The third is eating ultra-processed, low-fiber foods all day and expecting one healthy thing in the morning to erase it. NIDDK recommends enough daily fiber overall, plus fluids, not a single magic fix dropped into an otherwise constipating routine. So let's bring it all together. If you feel like something is trapped inside you, the answer usually is not that your body is hiding pounds of poison. The answer is more ordinary and more fixable. Slow transit, dry stool, missed urges, low fiber, low movement, bad timing. That should be good news, because ordinary problems have ordinary solutions. And ordinary solutions are the ones you can repeat. So here's your challenge. Try the morning gel reset for 30 days. Track 3 things only: how often you go, how easy it feels, and how bloated you feel at the end of the day. Don't chase perfection, chase progress. If you can turn chaos into rhythm, that is a real transformation. And if your gut has been quietly fighting you for months, maybe this is the moment you stop looking for a dramatic cleanse and finally give your body the routine it was asking for the whole time.